Yo folks, just wanted to do a short ditty on doing the work, okay? I know people don't like that name, doing the work, because work is perceived to be something that's hard, graft. Nobody likes that kind of stuff, you know? But that's what it is. It's not play, you know, being all vulnerable and dressing your shame. It's, you know, admitting your powerlessness, as AA people say. It's not like fun, is it? It is work, right? So that's what it is, doing the work. So I posed this question on the Strive community forum because I struggle myself as a guide, as a leader, whatever you want to call me. I do struggle myself when I see that people are not doing the work they need to do in order for them to become someone who doesn't drink alcohol, in order for them to become a striver. And there lies within it, like, you know, one of the crux, if you like, of this whole issue is it doesn't matter how good or the quality or how professional or how empathetic or how driven your guide is. The change comes from within. You have to be the person who figures out why you're stuck and what you need to get out of that stuckness in order for you to get stuck in and do the work. Because, you know, let's be under no illusions, folks. If you are addicted to alcohol and you want that to change, then you have to do some work. You cannot just white knuckle it. Because if you white knuckle it, at some point, resistance, as I like to call the voice of addiction, resistance will clobber you. It will catch you when you're at your lowest, most vulnerable, most fearful moment, and it will batter you. All right. So just be very, very mindful of that. We have to do the work. And how long do we have to do this quote unquote work for? Well, most experts out there that I read, let me scratch that. Some experts out that I've read about talk about between 3 and 5 years of you kind of working on your life and your addiction before you finally get to a place like I am right now, where I never get triggered to drink alcohol. So think about the 1000 days sober experience and the Strive model for change, which is 6 different phases of working through your addiction. So we're all at different phases of our addiction. James Prochaska created the trans-theoretical behavioral model of change, and he uses these 6 stages of change, and it fits nicely with the Strive acronym. So we've got stuck, we've got thought, we've got research, initiative, vigilance, and evolution. You'll all be at different stages. Okay, so it's really important that you know what stage you're at, and the guides and the people that are helping you, they know what stage you're at, so we can, meet where you are going for. Right? Well, wherever you are, we can help you, right? And what I've been finding lately is there are people who have stopped doing the work to a certain degree, and I'm scratching my head thinking, how can I help them with this? So I decided I'd do a little video, and I would open it up to the Strive community for people who are stuck and not stuck to talk about their stuckness. Why is it that they're not doing the work? Now let me define what the work is. So the work for me is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Removing your shame by talking about your shame. So I'm talking about posting on Strive or another community forum or live in a live group like AA have, and talking about your life, talking about who you are, talking about how you feel, talking about things that you're ashamed of, in order for those things to no longer bother you because you're talking about them, right? And in addition to that is working some sort of program. So with us, it's called the 1000 Days Sober Experience. And you're doing lessons and you're growing your education and your knowledge around addiction, the way the world works, to rewire those belief systems that you have in your mind about why you should drink alcohol or not, right? Super, super important, okay? So that is the work as I see it, okay? But why don't people do it? So Laurie says for her, it was fear. Fear to share and fear to be vulnerable. And because Laurie was stuck with that fear, it took her a long, long time for her to get onto Strive and start sharing. And as you'll see through a lot of these comments, when people look back in hindsight, they realize that actually talking about the things they didn't want to talk about, it's the holy grail. That is what actually breaks the camel's back when it comes to addiction. Okay, so we have to find ways of overcoming our fear. As my 3-year-old daughter always says, Dad, got to feel the fear and do it anyway. Yes, we have got to feel the fear and do it anyway. And in Laurie's case, she managed to do that. Okay, Anna said she didn't want to share a goal with anybody, a goal of being someone who doesn't drink alcohol, because she was worried she might fail. Okay, and this is something that I hear a lot. This has just come up recently in some of the assignments that people are writing about. When people say, this like forever thing, this like stopping drinking forever, I'm not sure I'm going to sign up for that. I can't tell people about that, because if I do, then, what if I fail? So that is a status issue. That is an ego issue. That is I'm worried what other people care about me, because that is where I get my self-worth from, not in here. Okay, that's a fixed mindset view, not a growth mindset view. A growth mindset is, I am going to say that I'm never going to drink alcohol again. And if I do, well, that is part of the process. Because if I want to be a chef and I want to cook the perfect souffle, I've got to cook a load that suck, right? And it's the same when you stop drinking alcohol. Your goal is to be someone who doesn't drink. But between A and B, okay, B being your goal and A being where you are today, it's likely that you're going to drink every now and then. And instead of looking at that as a complete and utter failure, we need to change our perspective and say, well, actually, it's part of the process. I'm supposed to do this, right? I'm supposed to do this. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it, but it's part of the process. Why? Because Lee and everybody else who goes through this process explained to me that it is highly unlikely that you'll just say, I'm going to stop drinking, I'm never going to drink again, and then it never happens. Okay, but most importantly, and it's not that it never happens, you never think about drinking, because so many of us can white knuckle it. We can be thinking about it all the time. I really want to drink, I really want to drink, I really want to drink, and you don't drink for 20 years. That is not success, folks. That is living a miserable life. That is living a life of lack. What AA call a dry drunk. We don't want to be a dry drunk. We want to be happy and loving and all that kind of rainbow unicorn shit, right? What else did Anna say? She didn't share in AA when she went to AA because she was still drinking and other people weren't drinking, and she found that really confusing. Boom, that is a big one, okay? Because when you come to Strive, people are going to be in various different stages of the Strive model for change. Some people are going to be stuck. Some people are going to be thinking about giving up, but they haven't given up yet. Some people are going to be researching whether they should give up or not. Some people are taking action to give up. Some people are maintaining that action. And some people are so far done with it you wouldn't believe. They never get triggered, but they really want to work on living a fulfilled life, right? Everybody's in a different spot. So it feels really super uncomfortable for you to talk about the fact that you have failed again, or you're drunk again, or whatever's going on for you, or that you feel triggered for the 15th time in a day, and you feel like, I can't post this because like Lee and everybody's just going to think I'm a dick. They're going to think there's something wrong with me. You're going to intellectualize it and think that we're going to think that you have a low IQ or a low EQ or something. Okay? What you've got to remember is everybody who ultimately becomes someone who doesn't drink alcohol was exactly where you were. That they felt the same things, that they felt crummy, they felt low self-worth, they felt their status was going to drop, they were embarrassed, they were humiliated, they felt shame. Okay? That is why talking about these things on places like Strive is incredibly powerful, incredible work, because you're talking to like-minded people. You're not going to get judged. So that the judgment and your fear of judgment is a perception. And if you do it often enough on Strive, you'll realize that the judgment doesn't come out. It's not there. It doesn't exist. Okay, so what you're doing is you're hypothesizing and taking action, not just lending an ear to perception all of the time, right? Really important. Anna also hit a rock bottom of sorts. It got to that point where people were saying to her, you got a fucking problem, Anna. What's the matter with you? Or her like grandchildren were saying it to her. Everybody has to have some sort of rock bottom. No, that's not true. Okay. Hang on, let me rewind that. A rock bottom happens to some people in order for them to start doing the work. But you don't need a rock bottom to start doing the work. But, come on. When things get really shit and your life is getting really topsy-turvy because of alcohol, it is a good indication you need to do something about it. So be aware of that, okay? What else did Anna say here? It's okay to not know how or what is next, as long as you do the next right thing, which is not to drink. because this is what it's all about, okay? So, yeah, you can get all confused. You can get all worried about what is the work? What is the work? What's going on about the work? Just do one thing. I am not going to drink in the next hour. I'm not going to drink in the next hour. I'm not going to drink in the next hour. If you don't like hours, break it down to 5 minutes, right? Wherever you are in your process. Do the next right thing. I will not drink, okay? Chunk down. If you're going to eat an elephant, chunk it down a little bit because it's going to take a long time to eat it, right? Stay connected to like-minded people, says Anna. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with a lot of drinkers? Are you trying to like communicate? Are you trying to get them to get you, to understand you, and they're drinking? Ain't going to happen. You need to get yourself connected to like-minded people. People on strike, people who are fucked up with alcohol, who are continually now fucked up with alcohol, and they understand where you are. Talk to those like-minded people. Yes, she says, it is uncomfortable. I know, but there is a transfer that happens when we do this. It is worth every risk imaginable, and you are worth it. The transfer is inner strength that you can do this, that you are not alone, that there are other people who understand the shame and burden that we have carried for far too long because of alcohol. You learn vulnerability. You learn to embrace your pain and make it count for something. You begin to care. You begin to hope. You begin to see things in a different light. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to return to yourself and discover that all you ever needed was within yourself all along. We were just too busy wasting time and days pouring alcohol into ourselves, numbing all the bad and good in us. Wow, Anna, that is amazing. I could have just done a video on that alone. That transfer is really, really important. Really, really important, okay? You have got this inner strength, and sometimes it takes doing the work for you to understand that you have that inner strength, but you have to do the work first. And what better way to do the work than to have like-minded people point out your blind spots and give you a kick up the fucking ass every now and then, okay? Now, as long as pointing out the blind spots and that swift little kick comes from a loving kindness place, a loving kind place, and we have a fully empathic situation going on, and we're getting an A in empathy, as David Burns would say, then there's nothing wrong with having a kick up the arse, right? Nothing wrong with it, okay? I think it's a really important part of Strive. What Anna did is she did the assignments instead of drinking. Really good. If you think about it, how many of us drink in a 24-hour cycle for all the time that we're not asleep? Okay, break it down. What are the pinch points in your day? Normally, midweek, what are people's pinch points? 5 o'clock in the evening till 7, maybe 8. After that, you're kind of done with it. So it's like those 3 hours. Use that time to do the work. Okay, no better time to do it. Okay, and Anna said when she started to do the work, and she's talking about doing the 1000 days sober assignments, she had big triggers in the beginning. She wanted to drink while she was doing the work. This can put a lot of people off. They think, oh, I can't do this work because it's going to cause me to drink, so I'm going to run away. We're dealing with some really untapped emotion and untapped thoughts and feelings that we've hidden for so long. That's why we're going to be triggered in the beginning. That is what it's like when we deal with shame. We need to reveal and talk about our shame in order for the shame to go away. But it's going to be really tough. And Anna felt lonely, and Anna did cry, and Anna did get really angry with me about, watching me every day, telling her to do this and think like this, blah, 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 blah. She got really angry with me. But you know what? She stuck with it. She carried on doing the work because she was in this environment that fucking nudged her every now and then when she needed to. And now she's a Strive ambassador. She hasn't drunk for over 2 years. And I can safely say she likes me a little bit more than she used to. What did Tony say? Tony said, there is so much going on in Strive. So much going on in Strive. So much going on in the assignments that it actually lends to procrastination. That resistance wins here. Because resistance can say, do you know what? There's too much noise. Just go out on your bike and this is too stressful. This is not what giving up drinking is all about. Giving up drinking is supposed to be peaceful. If it's going to be this noise, I don't want to do it. That is where resistance will win, okay? That is where resistance will win. So maybe for people of Tony's ilk, you need to chill out a little bit. Maybe you need to say, Lee, and Torture Ambassador, I'm not going to be putting a lot of time and effort in a Strive at the moment. I'm going to put 100% focus on my assignments. Or I'm not going to do my assignments right now because I think I'm going to get more value out of doing Strive. So yes, it can be overwhelming for some people because there's like too many chocolates on the chocolate tree or whatever. So pick them specifically and with a good intention, and use your guides that you've got, your coaches, your ambassadors, myself, to help you to make the right choice. Like as Anna said earlier on, just do the next right thing. If the next right thing for you is I have too much, Lee's overwhelming me with too much information, then you need to block it out somewhere. And Tony says 1,000 days sober is a massive commitment. A massive commitment. Yes, it is. But it's supposed to be. You're giving up drinking alcohol. You're giving up one of the top 5 addictions in the history of the world, right? So of course it's gonna be hard. We can't just take a pill. We can't just take some antabuse and all of a sudden our life is solved, right? We're not about quitting alcohol here at 1,000 Days Sober. We're about quitting alcohol and living a fulfilled life. We're talking about pre-recovery, recovery, and post-recovery. It's the post-recovery stuff that is the hardest stuff, okay? So 1,000 Days Sober is a massive commitment. It is, because we're here for life, to help you for life, okay? Never, ever stop evolving. Look out the door. If things stop evolving, they die. Do you want to die? I don't think you want to die. But if you keep drinking alcohol, the likelihood is you're going to die a lot sooner than if you stop, okay? So think about that. And Tony, by the way, is one of those guys who I love dearly, but every now and then I do have to say to him, Tony, what the fuck are you doing? Come on. Chop, chop, sort yourself out, right? Unfortunately, Tony knows I love him. We built up a strong empathic relationship, and he knows when I'm doing that, I'm doing it because I got his best will at my heart, right? Really important. If you want to come to Strive and you don't want to get it, if you don't want someone saying to you, come on, mate, you need to sort your act out, then maybe Strive is not the place for you, okay? Maybe you want to go to one of those other forums where every day you drink and you say, I didn't drink today, and 100 people go, oh, wow, God, like we've all been there, don't worry about it. And then you drink again the next day, oh, wow, don't worry about it, everybody's done it. If you want to go to one of those places where you can just, not advance anywhere, like forever and ever and ever, go for it. Kim said feedback from Craig, her ambassador, and myself was really important for her in the beginning. Feedback, really important. Deliberate practice is what Kay Anders Ericsson calls it if you want to be a world-class performer. So if you want to be a world-class at not drinking alcohol, getting regular, consistent, and quick feedback is really important. Kim said that was really important to her. And if you're not getting your feedback, then email Lee Davey, WhatsApp Lee Davey, email your ambassador, write a note on Strive and say, this fucking place isn't helping me and nobody's giving me feedback, okay? And that'll wake people up, all right? But you have to make things happen. You have to make things happen, okay? She also said that her personality type, she's a red personality type, right? And we do color-code personality types here on Strive. And she said she likes to be top of the class. So actually doing assignments and that kind of thing, it encourages her to do more work, to be seen, and for people to like what she's doing. There are other people who hate technology. Sue is one who hates technology, and that technological barrier was a barrier for her in a long time to get the help that she needed, especially when it comes to doing her assignments, okay? And there are people who prefer not to do the work, who prefer to just kind of lurk a little bit more. We are learning more and more on Strive through Kleis Wallenberg, he's our color code coach, learning more about personality types to really engage and communicate with people in a style that is going to be more effective for them, okay? So that's really important. And Kim said the combination of the regular assignments and the Strive community just gelled with her and it stuck. She said, I think it was the people. It isn't like any other online course where you sign up and you're on your own. This is what got me unstuck. It is. The people are really important. We have a beautiful, beautiful, intimate community here at Strive, okay? And here's the thing. The times when I retreated and distanced myself from Strive have always been when I've lapsed and drank. I've run away for days, even weeks, and then come back because I felt the void of not having Strive. Let me tell you something. If Kim didn't put the work in, if Kim didn't put the effort to post on Strive and to help other people on Strive through her suffering and pain, she wouldn't feel connected to Strive. There would be no void. So the people who join up to Strive and they don't input, they don't put any work, and they just do some cursory check-ins and they don't really share anything or help anybody, and then they drink, they run, and they never come back. Become sticky. Become sticky. You know what it's like if you want to be part of a community? You've got to give. You can't just fucking lurk around, right? It's impossible. You've got to give a little bit, all right? What did Sue say? Sue, a little bit like what Tony was talking about, but I like what she's saying is she says that there's a lot going on at Strive and she has to balance what she can afford to give energy-wise to people. So she says there are so many people on Strive, like, I mean, it's not so many, we're a small, intimate group, but relationship-wise, we only have enough energy to give to what, like 2 to 5 people? Like Strive, you could have like 10 relationships going that are really strong and powerful, and that could be too much to somebody. So you've really got to learn to, you know, manage your time and your energy with people, especially if you're an empath, which Sue is, right? So that's really, really important. She also said that she would look at someone like me and she'd say, I can't do what he's doing. He's a maverick, right? And like we said earlier on, no, maverick, right? We were where you are. We struggled as much as your struggle. It's just a lot of people are not interested in the process. They're just interested in the final product, right? We all went through what you did, okay? And she said, so mainly I would say to those starting on this venture that although I have been strongly encouraged to be more present on Strive, that's me, that is, I have never been judged for the lack of it. But also, it is entirely possible to quit alcohol and not miss it. Entirely possible to quit alcohol and not miss it. And she capitalized it because she struggled for so long to believe that. And now she does because she's been doing the work. And Sue has not just been doing the work on Strive. Sue has been doing the work by immersing herself in Buddhism. Sue has been doing the work through her own practice. Sue has been doing the work by checking out other Quit Lit, checking out other email lists, checking out other podcasts and other books by sobriety leaders, right? So vary it a little bit as well, really important. Polly says she needs to take breaks from the assignments because they are emotionally draining for her, which is, like we said earlier on, they're going to be. So rather than just run, if you can learn to take a break when you feel that things are getting a bit too much, and you communicate that with your ambassadors and myself, then we can help you through. We can help you through that. Okay, really important. And the other one, Karina, who hasn't been with us long, she just recently joined the April edition of 1000 Days Sober Experience. She came crashing through the door, all guns blazing. She like wrote millions of posts, and then she disappeared off the face of the earth. I'm like, Karina, where are you? Karina talks about self-sabotage, about you go in, you get really excited, you start doing this thing, and then you drink, and you feel like a complete failure, so you self-sabotage. You detach yourself from the very thing that's working so you can just wallow in your own shit, all right? So really, really important just to be aware of that, and you're aware of it now because I'm talking about it, and you'll be more aware of it if you're with a group like Strive, because when you disappear, we come looking for you, okay? And when we come looking for you, knocking on your door, we're not loud enough, it's very difficult for you to get any sleep unless you open the door, and when you open it, we're like, come on, come back, okay? Stop being a silly bugger. So really, really important stuff here. I hope you got a lot out of it. I think what I would make my first priority is join a sobriety group, whatever you want to call it. If you don't like Strive, you don't like our jive, then you can go to Annie Grace or Laura McCowan or Andy Ramajo, one of these amazing people, okay? You can go and join their group. But join a group who will point out your blind spots, because this running away from doing the work, empathy is not always going to get you back into it. You're going to need some harsh lessons and some harsh conversations about why it is that you're running away. I think that is really, really important. It's not just the red personality type and the man in me that's coming out. I really do believe that. And even the blues and the whites who go through this experience, who might not believe it in the beginning, after they've gone through it, they're like, I'm so glad that you dragged me back in here. I'm so glad you stopped me doing this. I'm so glad you outed me. I'm so glad that you stopped me talking so much shit. I'm so glad that you pointed out my blind spots. Honestly, the feedback is just overwhelming on this, all right? So I hope you enjoyed this. What is stopping you from doing the work? Please share down below. Or what allowed you to overcome your inertia for not doing the work? Share below. And if you like this video, share it to other people, all right? If you want to join Strive and do the 1000 Days Sober Experience, then head to www.1000dayssober.com and join the email list, or you can email me at thetruthaboutalcohol@gmail.com. Okay, cheers, thanks for listening.